Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. Welcome. So today we're going to be talking about some of the new uniques, or rather the old uniques that have been changed. And in fact, they're not even called uniques anymore. They're called Mythic Uniques. And the Mythic Uniques have a special color now, as well as they also have a special drop sound and other interesting things. And we're going to take a look at that as well. The one that we're going to be going over today is called the Ring of the Starless Skies, and it's definitely been changed quite a bit since its previous versions. The original version that first came out was nothing compared to this one, let's just say. First off, let's actually take a look at the unique drop effect of the new Mythic Uniques. So I have to unfavorite it so I can drop it on the ground. As you can see, it has a purple glow now. I'm not really particularly a big fan of the word Mythic. I think it's leaning too much on World of Warcraft, which, I mean, Mythic is a World of Warcraft term. I feel like they could have gone with something more Diablo-centric, but it is interesting that they have a unique drop color as opposed to something like the legendary items and, of course, the unique items, which all have their own specific drop colors. And it does help them stand out a little bit, but what's actually funny is that when they're all on top of each other, most of the time you can't see the Mythic Unique. It still gets lost in the hubbub. Now, this particular Mythic Unique, the Ring of the Starless Skies, is actually a super amazing unique that can give you a huge damage bonus as well as other effects. Let's go over the stats, and then we're going to talk about how you can use this item to your advantage. So the Ring of the Starless Skies has a pretty sweet amount of attack speed bonus. As you can see, I've already masterworked mine up for, because I like that. But it also has 10 all resist and 10 all resist again, which is a very nice 20 all resistances. Most rings do not have 2 all resistances. They have 1 all resist, and then they have 1 flat. So this one actually has two 10% all resistances on it, which makes it a very nice 20, which is already a very nice boon right off the bat. On top of this, you also get the 20% increased attack speed, which does go up quite a bit. The critical strike chance, the lucky hit chance, which is 17.5% with my current master working, and a 25% bonus, which is a lot. Plus 2 core skills, and of course these can all be, you can actually find one of these with greater affixes, and these stats can go even higher. But it's just a really nice package of abilities. You get crit, you get attack speed, you get lucky hit, and you also get bonus to your core skills. It actually works with anything. It doesn't have to be core skills, but specifically this is going to work with spenders more than anything else. But with the recent patches, there's a lot of things that can potentially make you into a spender, and we'll talk about that. So spending your primary resource reduces the resource cost of your skills and increases your damage by 10% times for 3 seconds up to 50%, which basically means that every single time you spend, you're going to reduce the cost of your ability even more. And as you spend, you're going to get lower and lower cost to the point where you get also higher and higher damage up to a very nice amount. It's actually surprisingly effective and works with anything that spends, which is pretty amazing. It says, yours is the power to pluck the stars from the heavens with ease of a child gathering fruit from the bough unknown. So basically, with this particular item, if I were to attack, like for instance the training dummy, and you see I have charged bolts. Charged bolts only have a 10 mana cost right now because I have a lot of reduction. But if I start attacking with charged bolts, you will see that my mana cost goes down to a mere 5 relatively quickly, which is actually not really that bad. And I can pretty much maintain that 5 for pretty much forever because of Ring of Starless Skies. And you can see my mana isn't even moving for the most part because it doesn't really cost enough to cause me any inconvenience. In fact, I can even, let's put on multiple here, just for the fun of it, and let's really like speed things up so I can really attack as fast as I can possibly if I attack. And you can see it's still just not going to ever get to the point where I'm running out. Now, you can also add in items like the Crown of Lucian. Now, the Crown of Lucian has an ability to increase your damage of spending abilities, but also at the same time increasing the cost of the ability. So if I were to put on Crown of Lucian with this particular build, you'll see that my current mana cost is 10. And let's take off the Ring of the Starless Skies too. As I cast, the cost of my ability increases rather dramatically. Now it's costing 24 per, and you can see I have a cost of 24 mana per, and my mana is having a little bit more trouble keeping up with the beat, but I'm doing okay because I do have a lot of resource cost reduction. Like I've got a 63.5% cost reduction on my staff. And I also got some more cost reduction on my choker and whatnot. But if you take the Ring of the Starless Skies and you put that on with this particular item, and you stack that together, you'll notice that I don't really get to the same amount. I only end up at around, let's see, at 12, which isn't really that bad. Now, this can be stacked together with other items like the Shard of Erethiel, which is a really nice item if you haven't played around with the Shard of Erethiel. The Shard of Erethiel is an item that can turn your basic skills into spenders, while they also still burn resource or give you resource. And also at the same time, just like the Crown of Lucian, are going to make it so that it might be a little bit more difficult to maintain a constant flow of attacks. Well, with the Ring of the Starless Skies, of course, you don't have to worry about that because you can reduce the cost of even the basic skill in this way. So the Ring of the Starless Skies honestly has become a powerhouse this season because of all of the things that are now costing resource that didn't cost before. Like for instance, all of the basic skills if you're using the Shard of Erethiel, which I think most people, probably 99% of the people who are doing basic skills, are going to be using the Shard. Also, the Crown of Lucian, which gives you a huge bump in your resource cost, is also a very big thing, but it also gives you a very nice bonus to your damage at 15% per stack up to 5 times, right? So you get 15, 15, which is 30, 15, 15, that's 60, and then you get, what is that, 75, so 75% enhanced damage just for putting on the Crown of Lucian. And if you can overcome that resource cost increase, maybe through something like the Ring of the Starless Skies, it's definitely going to make for a very powerful item. Now, where do you find the Ring of the Starless Skies? Well, the Ring of the Starless Skies is a uber unique, and there are a couple ways you can get it now. Number one is you can hunt for these Resplendent Sparks. Resplendent Sparks are pretty easy to get your hands on these days. You just have to like kill Lilith one time, just one time. You can have somebody carry you through it if you need to. You can get them from the Reputation grind. You get one from the end of the Reputation grind, and you can do that on every single character, so you can get one per character, which means that if you make 4 characters, you can get 4 Resplendent Sparks, and you can, of course, create your own Mythic Unique. I've already got 3 here, as you can see, so I'm pretty close to getting my last one to get another set, and I'm probably going to make, not sure. Tyrael's could be a good choice. I'm also pretty excited about a lot of the Uber Uniques. So far, I've already collected a couple, so I have the Harlequin Crest Shaco. I also have Melted Heart of Selig, and I have the Ring of the Starless Skies so far. So I'm probably going to go for one of the weapons, maybe, or maybe go for Tyrael's. I'm not entirely sure. Tyrael's is pretty OP this season. We're going to be talking about that one as well. All in all, though, Ring of the Skies, I think, is one of the better Uber Uniques this season because there are so many things that are going to be using spending. They have a lot of things that like to increase the cost of stuff. You got the Crown of Lucian, you got the Shard of Erethiel. You've got a lot of abilities that are obviously costing lots of resources. Well, the core skills are back in action because of a lot of the unique overhauls and so forth and so on, like the Staff of Lama Sem, and it's a lot more fun. I mean, as you can see with the Ring of the Starless Skies on and this particular build, I can sit here and I can spam some charge bolts, boys. Let me tell you what. Don't even think you haven't seen some charge bolts. Look at these charge bolts. Look at how many freaking charge bolts I can spam. This is insane. I don't even have this build fully min-maxed yet, and I'm already very impressed with the output that it's capable of doing. And the Ring of the Starless Skies, of course, gives me a very nice bump here. 50 times multiplier, the ability to spam my charge bolts almost infinitely. I could probably drop that resource cost reduction off my amulet now. Go for something maybe a little bit better. I love it. I'm liking the synergy between all the uniques at this point. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you don't know exactly which bosses to farm this from, there are quite a few bosses that you can farm the Ring of the Starless Skies from. You can get them from, obviously, the Uber Uniques, the Uber bosses, both Duriel, and you can also get them from Andariel, in the Uber form and in the Tormented form. Now, the Tormented bosses all have a chance to drop Uber Uniques now. It was in the patch notes if you guys haven't seen it, and that means that you can farm any of the Tormented bosses for Uber Uniques at this point, and I actually did get this from Lord Zier. That's who I got my Ring of the Starless Skies from, was from Lord Zir. And I got my Harlequin Crest from Duriel. So I get to farming those Tormented boss guys. I think Grigore, Zir, are some of the easier ones, definitely for sure. Varshan's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. Duriel is pretty easy. And Dariel might not be the easiest if you're a melee class because she does kind of like lock you away from her in some ways. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals joining my videos, even when we're just talking about something like the Ring of the Starless Skies. And as always, if you enjoy my videos, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and keep watching.